It's very different than American or Western sensitivities. It is a culture of resistance. When the 1979 Iranian Revolution happened, it was really a reaction to what we and the British had done in 1953 when we knocked off a prime minister because we were afraid that Iran was going to nationalize the oil industry, and we thought that would hurt us, oil being the constant here. And so we put in the Shah of Iran, who was probably good for us, Westerners, but terrible for Iran. He was quite oppressive, quite a dictator, and it led to the 1979 Islamic Revolution. And it is remaining a culture of resistance. So every time President Trump tries to bully Iran, Iran has immense pride and dignity. It's not something we all understand because they're a terrible regime that slaughtered protesters in the street, but it is who they are.
I imagine that this kind of sweep of history, which you're describing right now, this must have been what it was like when you sat in those rooms with Iranian negotiators. Did they lecture you along these kinds of themes?
We certainly, at the beginning of the negotiations, had lots of lectures and lots of lectures from those who were in Tehran. Over time, however, we just got down to the brutal details of this negotiation. When you're negotiating around nuclear issues or military issues or proxies, the devil is definitely in the details.
Yeah, but the fact that you're mentioning the historical context now, does that mean that you are saying that the Trump administration needs to understand this and doesn't, and they will only get so far if they don't?
Without a doubt. The regime now is more hardline than even the previous supreme leader, who was pretty hardline. And I think there's a great deal, even more control by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps than there was before. And that means that the concessions the president thinks will come easily will not come easily. They will resist. They will never, I believe, give up what they believe is their right to enrich. They may voluntarily suspend it, but they won't give up the right. I don't think they'll give up their relationship to their proxies. They may reduce the level of their support. I don't think they'll give up their missile program, though they may be willing to constrain it in some ways. So I don't think that when President Trump wants them to really just capitulate, that's never going to happen.
But precisely because it is such a hardline regime, harder line, you're saying, than the one you dealt with, isn't there